going on, guys? SkiveWalker. Happy second day of draft day. As we all know, the NFL draft started last night with a very good first round. Very exciting. Guys, before we jump into this video, I want to give a big shout out and a very big thank you to A&B Masonry for being our very first sponsor. They're your first and second choices when needing any kind of masonry work. Make sure you give my man Tyler out to a call at 330-289-4824. Guys, now jumping into it, I cannot wait to talk the second round of the draft day. Cannot wait to talk about the Indianapolis Colts with you guys. Just have a couple notes here. The Browns had a good first round, getting the quarterback that they wanted, getting a corner that they needed to solidify that secondary. The Browns actually had a plan for once, came in, executed it just the exact way that they wanted it to. Very good job, Cleveland Browns. If you guys are not so happy with the Baker Mayfield pick, well, there's a guy over on Bleacher Report who thinks Lamar Jackson is the best quarterback in the draft and was praising Baltimore for trading up and getting him. If you know anything about me, I am not a Lamar Jackson fan at all. I was hoping the Patriots would go stupid for once and take him. I just don't think Lamar Jackson is smart enough to read a defense, as seen by his post-draft interview. It was interesting to say the least. So, Mr. Fett, man, I'm sorry, brother. That one's a little iffy there. I don't like the pick, and I know you don't like the pick. But anyway, guys, we're gonna get right into the Colts. With the first round, we took Quentin Nelson. Now, we were one pick away from getting the guy who I covet in Bradley Chubb. I wanted him with a horseshoe on his helmet. Guys, I've said that over and over again. I wanted Bradley Chubb really bad. But I can't really blame Denver, and nobody should be able to blame Denver for wanting to have Von Miller and Bradley Chubb on that defensive line. That's just ridiculous. They're going to be terrorizing for the next 5 years. So, what do we get? We get the best offensive lineman in this draft. A guy who just brings meanness, toughness, something we have not had since we had Jeff Saturday way back 13 years ago. Guys, I'm excited for this pick. I mean, we really needed offensive line help. We really needed to get tougher there. The way to win in the NFL is to win in the trenches, to win on the offensive and defensive line. And the Colts made a big, big step. I think this guy is such a good ball player, such a good lineman. He's going to come in day one, and that offensive line is going to change. That whole attitude is going to change. Now you have Costanzo on the left side. Now you have Quentin Nelson at the left guard. Now you have Ryan Kelly at the center position. You can have Joel Haig or Jack Mewhort on the right side. You have a pretty solid line now. You fill the hole. Do we still need a right tackle? Yeah, but it's not a pressing need right now, as our right tackle play was actually pretty decent last year. But I love this pick. We gave up a league-high 52 sacks last year. Maybe Jacoby held on to the ball a little bit too long, and not all of it was on the offensive line, but I liked Jacoby last year. I thought he performed well. Andrew Luck just needs some protection this year, and I think that was the best way to go out and do it. Get somebody mean, get somebody tough. There's some Colts fans that are bashing the pick. They just wanted a flashy pick, I think, in my opinion. But, guys, I know it's not a sexy pick, but we needed this pick. The Colts absolutely 100% needed to go get a good offensive lineman, and they got the best one. Chris Ballard, I thought after the trade you were an idiot, but, dude, I apologize. It worked out the best way possible, and somehow we traded back to 6 and still got a top 5 player in the draft. So, I'm pretty excited about it. My whole process of the Colts season has flipped to 180. Maybe I'm getting a little overzealous here looking at all the talent still left in the second round where the Colts pick. But I was doom and gloom guy. I didn't want to talk Colts. I just thought this season was kind of throw in the dumpster because there's not a whole lot left. But if Andrew Luck can come back 100% healthy, not 80%, not 75%, not 90%, if he can come back 100% this year, now we have an offensive line in place. We can still make adjustments. We have Slauson coming in as well on the offensive side. We can plug him at the right guard. I mean, the offensive line now is significantly better than what it was at the end of the season where it was hopeless. So, Chris Ballard, kudos to you, sir. You did very good. Having Matt Slauson there as a veteran going to play the right guard, I would assume, is huge. Because now your whole left to right is now solidified. You only need the right tackle. You can still get one later on. But we're going to talk about the second and third round picks for what I want the Colts to do. But starting off the second round is your Cleveland Browns. The Browns here, I think they're going to take offensive tackle Connor Williams. They still need that left tackle solidified. And with the Giants picking right behind them, who also need offensive line help, I think the Browns would be very wise taking an offensive lineman. And I think they're going to get their left tackle here with Connor Williams from Texas. And it's going to be a good pick for him. Maybe not the left tackle of the future, but definitely some guy who's a good offensive tackle. He's going to give you some size. He's quick enough to be able to move it. But I think, hey, it's worth a shot on him, right? You guys need an offensive tackle. You need a left tackle. The guy can plug and play for you right there. He needs some coaching. But, hey, it's worth a shot. You need an offensive tackle. Might as well take him. The Giants, they're not, like I said before, they need offensive line help. They just took Saquon Barkley. They need to give more time for Eli Manning to throw the ball to Odell Beckham. And possibly even Des Bryant might be sliding over to New York here. With him wanting to face Dallas 2 times a year, it would make sense for him to want to stay in the same division. And going to New York could provide him some opportunity there with Sterling Shepard, Odell Beckham. He can get open a lot more, get the ball more. So I think they're going to go with guard, Will Hernandez. Again, one of the better guards in the draft. First-round talent that is just sitting there in the second round. Somehow he's still sitting there. Excuse me, needed some water there. But then now you have the Browns here at 35. I think they're going to be taking running back Darius Geis. Their immediate need may not be a running back, signing Carlos Hyde, and also having Duke Johnson there. But drafting Darius Geis here at pick 35 means he doesn't have to come in and be a superstar running back from day one, because you still have Carlos Hyde. Carlos Hyde, though, is getting up there in years, and he's a big bruising back, so his career is going to be cut shorter unless somehow he can perform a Frank Gore and still run the ball at 35 years old. But he's still getting up there. He's taking a lot of hits over there in San Francisco. Not saying that he doesn't have some miles left to play. Don't misread me. I love Carlos Hyde. I think he's a very underrated back in the NFL, and I think he's going to do very well here in Cleveland. But you still want to have that guy right behind him in case anything were to happen, and you have an explosive back here. And Duke Johnson can be more of that Darren Sproles flex guy. He can go out and catch some passes. He can still run the ball. You have a lot of options here if you go Darius Geis. And I think that'll be very good for the Cleveland Browns. So at 36, my Indianapolis Colts. They pick back-to-back, 36 and 37. Do not trade out. There is so much talent here. I cannot believe that is still here. At 36, I want Harold Landry. This guy is one of the best pass rushers in this draft. Injuries kind of dropped him out of the first round. This guy's a steal. I mean, this guy is a top 10, top 15 talent, and he's sitting here in the second round. The Giants could possibly go with Harold Landry, and even the Browns could possibly take Harold Landry. But if he's sitting here at 36, Indy, you got to take him. You got to take him. You can have a rotation of John Simon, Jabal Sheard, and Harold Landry. That is a good defensive line to have. There's always somebody who's ready to go get the quarterback. You have guys who will have the stamina. You will have guys who will be ready to play. They'll be fresh all the time, putting a lot of pressure on that offensive line. Obviously not the most elite of the elite, but you're definitely not going to be worse. I mean, you're not going to have the worst defensive line. You're not going to have the worst quarterback pressure this year if you can get Harold Landry. And if he's not there, if he's taken, give me Sam Hubbard. Get me a guy who can go get the quarterback, okay? That's what I want at 36. At 37, how this guy's still here also, I don't know. One of the best corners in the draft, Josh Jackson from Iowa. Please, Indy, take this guy. We need a corner. We need to have another guy alongside Pierre Desir. This would be huge for us. He's got length. He's got speed. He's got a good work ethic. He was coached very well over there in Iowa. His technique still needs some work. Hey, we took a corner in the second round last year. And the guy from Florida, Quincy Wilson, solid cornerback. He still has a lot to learn. If you can take Josh Jackson and both those guys can grow up together and develop together, secondary could be good. This secondary could be lethal. This is why I'm so excited for the Colts coming into the season, because there's so much potential. Maybe not exactly this year, although with a healthy Andrew Luck, you never know. Anything can happen with a good quarterback. A guy in his rookie season took a team that was 2-14, took him to 11-5, and made a playoff push. We just ran into the Baltimore Ravens with Ray Lewis retiring, and that team ended up going on to win the Super Bowl. So we ran into the Super Bowl champs that year. It is what it is. And sometimes you just can't beat that. But Andrew Luck is so good that this team can become contenders real fast just with Andrew Luck. That's how good he really is and how important he is to this franchise. If you can get some good pieces, if you can hit on these pieces here in the second round, in the third round today, this team could have their turnaround immediately. Not saying they're Super Bowl contenders this year. Do not misread me. But maybe a division title could be in the works, pushing for it. Maybe a first-round win, second-round win. Maybe getting to an AFC title game, pushing Pittsburgh, pushing New England. May not be out of the realm of possibility, all because of one player. His name's Andrew Luck. But he has to be 100% healthy. Now, the Colts have another pick at 49. Here is where I think we can get our franchise cornerstone running back. I personally would want Royce Freeman from Oregon. 6-foot guy, 229 pounds. He's a very balanced running back. He is the all-time leader, our career rushing leader in the FBS. He's very balanced. Now, he's not a big power guy, not a big speed guy, but he's a very good mix. He's a guy where he can still truck you and still get breakaway speed, or he's just going to get hit, but he's still going to fall forward. He always goes forward. He always gets yards after contact. That is what he is known for. Normally, I don't like Oregon running backs, really Oregon players for that matter, but this guy right here, I think this running back here could solidify the position for next 10 years. Groom him with Andrew Luck. The guy's going to have holes. Now that the offensive line is basically fixed and solidified with Matt Slauson and Quentin Nelson coming in, he's going to have holes to run through. And obviously when Andrew Luck's there, you're going to have time to run and room to run because they always have to watch for Andrew Luck to throw the ball, and having T.Y. Hilton, Jack Doyle. We need another receiver. We can get that later. There's some talented guys here in this draft also at the receiver position. Now at pick 67, the third pick, I believe in the third round, somewhere up there, Colts with pick 67. As long as he's still there, and I think he could be, I want defensive tackle Tim Settle. He's a raw defensive tackle. He only played 27 collegiate games in his career, but he's got comparisons to Dontari Poe, and the guy just has raw, freakish ability. He's fast. He's hungry. Hey, I'm all about defense wins championships. And even though New England had one of the worst defenses last year, they still were in the Super Bowl. Defense will always beat a good offense. It will always happen. And as much as I would love to have Harold Landry, as much as I want him, if we can also pair him with Tim Settle here, give big-time Timmy Jim some time to groom, to work among that defensive line, I think that would be a very wise pick. Somebody in the third round where you can take a chance on because it is the third round, but also has a lot of upside, and if he doesn't pan out, he's a third-round pick. It didn't cost you that much. But other than that, guys, I think that's what I want the Colts to do this tonight. I'm very, very excited. Oh, my goodness. Like I said, it's a complete 180 to what I wanted to happen from what happened just even a week ago when me and the Fett were talking about a mock draft, or getting our mock drafts out there. And this was a best-case scenario. I cannot believe that this happened. I can't believe Josh Jackson's sitting here. I can't believe Harold Landry's here. There's so much talent in this round. And the Colts, if they execute properly, I would not even be opposed to trading up back into the second round, getting rid of our third rounder, maybe even taking a Cortland Sutton if we could. We're going to have to jump up early second round, though. I don't vision him staying around too long in the second round. But, hey, anything can happen. Day 2, this is where you can get some depth, some good starters. The Colts are in a very good position. I can't believe that this trade panned out, and I can't believe how much talent's still sitting here in the second round. So, again, as a recap, at 36, or even 37, it doesn't matter since they picked back-to-back. Harold Landry, Josh Jackson. I don't care who you pick first. I don't care who you pick second. You can turn both cards in at the same time for all I care. It doesn't matter. Just get me both those guys if they're available, and I think Josh Jackson very well could be sitting there for the Colts. And I can't believe it. I will never stop saying it. I cannot believe he's still sitting here. I can't. It's just amazing. The guy can be a shutdown corner in the league. I want him very much. So, without going back off track again, at 36, I want Harold Landry. 37, Josh Jackson. 49, Royce Freeman. I want the running back. 67, I would love to have Tim Settle. Just a guy who has a lot of upside, has raw potential. And I think we have the coaching staff now that would be able to work with them and can train these guys up. With Frank Reich here, man, anything's possible. Trust in the process. Chris Ballard's the man. The trade worked out. Everything's working out great. I mean, in Indy, Colts Nation, this is a very excitable time. We're turning this franchise around. Chris Ballard knows what he's doing, and I'm just going to stop questioning the guy. The guy's fantastic. Obviously, it's the draft, and they still got to perform on the field, but on paper, it's looking better. On paper, it's looking very good. Like I said, I was very pessimistic, but now I'm optimistic. Chris Ballard, I trust you. I'm trusting the process. Here we go, Colts. Other than that, guys, that's all I got for you. SkiveWalker signing off. Peace!